5 exercises to do in bed that will change your abdomen in 28 days. Have you ever imagined doing a complete abdominal strengthening routine without even getting out of bed? I know it sounds too good to be true, but these 5 exercises that I'm going to show you now can boost your abs definition in just 28 days. The big insight is that, even though they seem simple, each movement was designed to stimulate your muscles strategically, taking advantage of the support and stability of your own mattress. The idea here is to use the bed so you can incorporate this routine organically into your daily life, whether before sleeping, right after waking up, or at any time when you're lying down and feel like exercising your body. And don't be fooled. Even though the mattress seems soft, it doesn't mean the effort will be less. On the contrary, the instability generated by the soft surface can recruit stabilizing muscles you never imagined using. This might be the best part. You exercise without major impact, reducing the risk of injuries while working your abdomen diligently. But before we start, tell me in the comments your name and how long you've been training. Exercise number 5, leg raises. This is, without a doubt, a classic when we talk about strengthening the lower abdominal region. Many people underestimate the power of leg raises in bed, but the truth is that it has a very strong impact on the lower part of your abdomen, an area that, for many people, is more difficult to define. This exercise also activates the hip flexors, which helps improve mobility and even posture. In terms of benefits, it's worth noting that, by keeping your legs extended and elevated, you force the rectus abdominis to contract to stabilize the trunk. This continuous contraction strengthens not only the front of the abdomen, but also helps support the lower back. And it doesn't stop there. The dynamic tension generated when you raise and lower your legs makes the body recruit more muscle fibers, accelerating endurance gains. The big differential of doing leg raises in bed is the extra stabilization work. Because the surface is softer, your muscles need to adjust to each variation of support, which ends up involving the lateral abdominal muscles as well. So, in addition to targeting the rectus abdominis, you end up demanding the obliques, albeit more mildly than in other exercises specific to them. This is great for those who want a uniform and firmer abdomen overall. Another point worth mentioning is that leg raises help improve control of the center of gravity, something essential for those who suffer from lower back pain, as a strong core ends up protecting the entire spine during routine activities. When executing, lie on your back in bed, preferably with your spine well supported. Position your hands beside your body or under your buttocks to give light support to your lower back. Keep your legs extended, then raise them slowly until they form an angle of approximately 90 degrees with your trunk. Then, lower your legs, controlling the movement until almost touching the surface, but don't completely relax at the end. Raise again, always feeling the contraction of the abdomen and avoiding swinging or using only momentum. A common mistake is arching your back too much, which can overload the lower back. So, always try to keep your spine neutral and your abdomen contracted. Another misconception is giving a jerk to raise your legs, as this reduces the effectiveness of the muscle work and can cause discomfort in the spine. However, as the days go by, try extending your legs to increase the challenge. Exercise 4, scissor kicks. This movement, also known as scissor kicks, brings a very interesting differential, as it works strongly, not only the abdomen, but also the hip flexors, and as a bonus, even the inner thighs. When you make the movement of crossing your legs in a scissor format, you're challenging the abdomen dynamically, which stimulates muscle fibers that can remain dormant in more linear exercises. Here, the alternating movement of the legs generates an almost constant tension in the abdominal muscles, especially in the lower part and in the region of the transverse abdominis, this deeper muscle that helps to hold the belly inward, functioning as a natural belt. The great benefit of including scissor kicks in the routine is the intensity. Even if at first it doesn't seem so difficult, after a few seconds of execution, you feel the burn of the abdominal muscles. This burn is the sign that the fibers are being recruited efficiently, favoring a gain in strength and endurance. In addition, by requiring trunk stabilization, the movement also helps tone the lumbar region, preventing back pain and improving posture. Since we're talking about leg movements in the horizontal, the stability generated by the mattress becomes an extra challenge. You need to keep your lower back supported and your core contracted all the time so as not to sink into the bed and end up losing the correct form. This is the big insight. Instead of getting easier because of the soft mattress, the exercise becomes more unstable and the abdomen ends up working more to compensate for the lack of firmness of the ground. To execute correctly, start by lying on your back, with your hands beside your body or lightly supported under your hips to protect your lower back. Raise both straightened legs about 20 or 30 inches from the bed, or at least as much as you can maintain without pain in your lower back. Then, start the movement of crossing your legs in a scissor format. While one leg goes up, the other goes down alternately. Keep your abdomen well contracted and control your breathing. A very common mistake is to let your back come off the surface and form a large arch. If this happens, try not to lower your legs so much, as this way you avoid unnecessary overload on your lower back. Another oversight is moving your legs too quickly, failing to feel the contraction of the abdomen. Remember, controlled rhythm makes all the difference to recruit the deep fibers of the core. If you notice that you're shaking, don't worry. This usually means that your muscles are working intensely. After a few weeks, this instability tends to decrease as the body adapts and your abdomen gets stronger. Exercise 3. Bicycle crunches. This exercise is practically a complete combo for the abdomen, as it works the rectus abdominis, the obliques, and still requires some stabilization of the back. If you're thinking about defining the sides of your belly, the bicycle crunch is one of the best ways. It's called bicycle because it simulates the movement of pedaling, but with the trunk and legs suspended. The main advantage of executing it is that it forces a trunk rotation coordinated with the legs, which activates the obliques and the rectus abdominis with intensity. In everyday life, having stronger obliques improves trunk stability when you turn your body to grab something beside you or make rotational movements, in addition to giving that more curvy contour at the waist, much desired by those who want an athletic look. In bed, the bicycle crunch gains a special touch of instability. Unlike the hard floor, the soft mattress makes your trunk sink a bit, forcing you to seek more balance. With this, each simulated pedal requires extra contraction so that the back doesn't arch too much. What happens in practice is that you will feel the entire body more stable, as the combination of deep abdominals with strengthened obliques helps support the spine and pelvis during routine activities. To execute it, lie with your back on the bed, raise your legs approximately 90 degrees and bring your hands behind your head, keeping your elbows open but without forcing your neck. Start a movement as if you were pedaling. As you bring the right knee toward the trunk, try to touch the left elbow to that knee, making a trunk rotation. Then, switch sides, bringing the left knee close to the right elbow. Keep your abdomen contracted all the time and avoid sticking your chin to your chest. The ideal is to keep a small space between them to not tension the cervical too much. A big mistake is trying to accelerate too much to accomplish more repetitions in less time. It's better to focus on the quality of each repetition, feeling the twist of the trunk and the contraction of the abdomen. Another point of attention is not to let the lower back completely detach from the bed. If you notice that you're arching your back too much, reduce the angle of your legs, or do the movement with a little less amplitude until you acquire enough strength. And remember, whenever you feel tension in your neck, check if you're not pulling your head with your hands. The hands should only support, while the abdomen does the work of raising and turning the trunk. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the world of bodybuilding. Exercise 2. Hip lifts. This is the type of exercise that not only works the lower part of the abdomen, but also activates the glutes and lower back quite a bit, bringing a more global approach to your core, often called hip lift or modified reverse crunch. The hip lift in bed can be surprisingly intense if done with the right technique. The main benefit here is the deep activation of the rectus abdominis and the transverse, because by raising the hip from the mattress, you create a lever in which the abdomen needs to support a good part of the weight of the legs and the hip itself. This movement of rolling the spine upwards, starting with the pelvis, also helps strengthen the lower back indirectly, since stabilization is done in conjunction with the back muscles. For those looking for that defined abdomen, the hip lift is a gem, as it precisely targets the region that often gets puffed out in the lower part of the belly. With constant repetition, this area tends to become firmer and more defined. Additionally, it's a movement that helps improve the balance of the body as a whole, as it requires coordination between the legs and the trunk. Because it's done in bed, we again have the effect of the soft surface. The mattress gives a little, so you need to recruit more stabilizing muscles to not lose the correct form. With recurring practice, not only the abdomen, but also the pelvic region and the lower back become stronger and more resistant. To execute, lie on your back with your legs bent. You can start with your knees at a 90-degree angle, keeping the soles of your feet pointed upwards. Place your hands near your hips, supported on the bed or slightly under your buttocks, to give support to your lower back if necessary. The idea is to raise your hips toward the ceiling, contracting your abdomen to pull your legs and pelvis upwards without swinging or using much momentum force. Try to do the movement in a controlled manner, feeling the abdomen working. As soon as you raise, come down slowly, without completely relaxing at the end, as the secret is precisely in maintaining muscle tension. One of the most frequent errors is throwing your legs upwards with exaggerated impulses, using more swing than abdominal strength. This reduces the desired effect and can even overload your lower back. Another slip is not keeping the abdomen firm throughout the movement, which ends up transferring part of the effort to other areas and decreasing the focus where it really matters. If you feel discomfort in your lower back, check your posture and verify if you're not arching your trunk. In case of extreme fatigue, take a short break, but try to maintain the recommended sequence of repetitions to maximize results. Combined with exercises like leg raises and scissor kicks, hip lifts complete the work focused on the lower abdomen, reinforcing the core region and giving that plus of stability that is reflected both in the appearance and functionality of your body. Exercise number 1, planks. Number 1 couldn't be different after all. If there's an exercise that synthesizes the concept of stability and strength in the core, that exercise is the plank. Despite seeming simple after all, it has no apparent dynamic movement. The plank is one of the most efficient ways to activate all abdominal layers, from the rectus abdominis to the transverse, passing through the obliques and still involving the muscles of the back, shoulders, and even the glutes. The great magic of the plank is isometry. You keep the body static in a position that requires intense and constant muscle contraction. Because you're in bed, you add an extra degree of challenge, as the mattress deforms under your elbows or hands and feet. So, keeping the trunk aligned and the abdomen firm requires more control. This can translate into faster results if you dedicate yourself, as each second in the plank generates a multi-dimensional effort in your core. There's no shortage of benefits. Besides helping with definition, the plank improves overall posture, strengthens the spine, and even works on shoulder stability. A strong core built with planks tends to protect the joints and prevent overloads during other exercises or even in daily tasks, such as carrying weight or sitting for a long time. To execute the traditional plank correctly, lie face down and position your forearms parallel on the bed with your elbows just below your shoulders, and stay on your tiptoes, raising your body until forming a straight line that goes from your heels to your head. Keep your abdomen and glutes contracted, preventing your hips from rising too much or dropping too much. A common mistake is letting your lower back fall, forming an arch and overloading the spine. Another mistake is raising your buttocks too much, taking the emphasis off the abdomen and making the position easier, but less efficient. The ideal is to gradually increase the time in each plank, starting with 20 or 30 seconds, and as you gain resistance, reaching 1 minute or more. This time under isometric tension is extremely valuable for core definition. The golden tip is to always keep your breathing stable while remaining in position. Don't hold your breath, as this can increase tension in your neck and shoulders. When you master the common plank, you can try to increase the challenge by alternating the support of your feet or arms, but the simple fact of sustaining it in bed for 30, 40, 60 seconds already guarantees a powerful stimulus for the abdomen. In bed, you can also vary the traditional plank, with forearms supported for the high plank, with palms supported, or even test-side planks, which intensify the work of obliques. In a few weeks, the plank usually brings a feeling of greater solidity in the core, and visually, a more evident contour of the abdominal muscles, in addition to an extra insurance for the lower back. Now that you know how to change your abdomen with just a few extra minutes in bed, here are the 3 essential tips for you to have constant results with these exercises. Number 1, knowing how to listen to your body and rest properly. Rest is an essential component of any physical training program. Muscles need time to recover and strengthen after exercise. Ignoring signs of tiredness and continuing to train can lead to overtraining, resulting in fatigue, decreased performance, and even injuries. It's crucial to learn to listen to your body and give it enough time to rest and recover. 2. Focus on correct execution. The quality of execution of any exercise is more important than the number of repetitions you can do. Many end up prioritizing the number of repetitions or the speed with which they can execute an exercise. But the reality is that poor execution can not only decrease the effectiveness of the training, but also significantly increase the risk of injuries. For example, it's much more beneficial to perform 10 correct repetitions of an exercise where the target muscles are properly engaged and form is maintained than to do 50 repetitions carelessly. Correct execution ensures that you are actually working the muscles you intend to develop and protecting your joints and spine from undue efforts. 3. Consistency. Consistency in exercises is crucial to obtain and maintain long-term benefits. Doing exercises sporadically or concentrating a lot of activity in a short period and then stopping completely is not effective and can even be counterproductive. The ideal is to incorporate physical activity regularly and sustainably into your routine. For example, exercising 2 to 3 times a week throughout the year is much more effective than exercising every day for a month and then stopping. Maintaining a regular routine helps not only to build and maintain physical capacity, but also to create healthy habits that can last a lifetime. The key word is commitment. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or if you already have some physical preparation. What really makes a difference is constancy. If you liked it, and besides the abdomen, you also want to boost other parts of the body, we've left appearing right now on the screen a video where we show the best exercise for each muscle group. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.